meeting as per usual.
That was 1% planning of the podcast and 99% catching up. That's what we do. It's friends do. All right, so we are going to answer questions. And then
we have lots of answers today. I feel like I have tons of answers.
You were just down there collecting answers for like a month.
You were.
Like your magnet.
This.
Got it. Question. Yeah, exactly. With Melmac or whatever that guy was. Karnak, whatever his name. Melmac. I think that's where Alpha's from.
Yes, that is where Alpha's from. Hey, so random Ricky story, by the way. Do you know that I am the owner of an autograph from Alf?
Alf.
I don't think Alf is real.
No joke, I have Alf's autograph. And it's
wasn't there always a joke about like Alf possibly eating the cat?
Yes.
Yeah, that was his snack. I think he liked that.
He would snack on a kitty cat.
It is addressed to me. I actually have Alf's autograph. It's kind of cool.
How many fingers does Alf have?
I don't remember.
Were you there when he got the autograph? Like,
no, my mom and dad got it for me. So
they met Alf.
Yeah, so you guys are Rick signed that in the kitchen. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Who else do you like, Ricky?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin. Look! Yes, love you. It's gonna be May.
Hugs and kisses.
If you could get me Justin Timberlake's autograph, I would be eternally grateful.
Here it is. It'll be like Ricky, hang tight for what is today? Hang tight for 25 days. It's gonna be May.
Hugs and kisses.
So, yes, totally.
Done. Love it.
Oh, no, May. We gotta remember that for the show when we go into May. Actually, we gotta record that one early because I'll be down there. I'll be at Walt Disney World, but it's gonna be May.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can't wait. Paradiso 37 top thing.
I love how that's a thing that's at the top of your list.
Erica posted that picture in the agent group. And I am that looked like the nicest restaurant I have ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, that's hysterical.
Make time to eat at Three Bridges too.
I am.
Yeah.
I'll be at Coronado. So Coronado. Okay. Well, I'll be at Coronado after I'm staying at the Hilton. The Hilton. We'll see. I'm not bitter. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do a podcast. 1879 is the number.
Questions. We need questions because we have lots of answers tonight.
Yes, we need questions. We have a few in the inbox. We need questions.
Do we have answers? I don't know. We can make.
I have lots of them. I feel very answered. I'm full of answers.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good.
It's like that Reds player on our Cardinals player when he took him out at the plate the other day. Here we go. Castellanos.
I'm going to brush people back right now.
Yeah, high and tight. That's exactly it. Here we go. All right. Welcome to episode 1879 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope everybody is doing well. Had a great Easter weekend. I know a lot of places here in the United States can't complain about the weather for Easter here in the Midwest. It was awesome. It was 80 and sunny. Continues to be that way, getting a little rain here in the midweek, but hey, can't complain. April showers, May flowers, and all that good stuff. I think that was a song by Justin Timberlake. But anyway, we're going to be answering your listener questions. Pam's back, Ricky's here, and from what I've been told, they've been collecting answers just for you. So we're going to jump into it. Joining us from the mouseforless.com, where you can check out all the park hours and everything else you want to know, but mostly park hours, right? We have Ricky. Park hours, maybe on the mouse.
I don't think we have. I don't update park hours.
Menus, if you want to know menus.
We have menus. We have lots of menus. I'll give you that one. Lots of menus. Yeah.
What's going on with you?
Oh my goodness. Just had a great Easter. So spent time with just me and Brian, and we spent time outside because it was gorgeous. So yeah, we got a new patio set. So we just have been trying to, because lately it's weird weather right now. So it's been like cold every single weekend that we try to go outside. It's nice during the week and then cold on the weekend. So actually got to sit outside and enjoy our beautiful patio set. So yay, that's awesome.
How did those deviled eggs taste? I've currently, my deviled egg count is up to 9 since Sunday, and I think there's one left in the fridge.
All right, well,
to the time this publishes,
I only made 12 deviled eggs because I did not want to make a whole heck of a lot because they're so time consuming to make. But I have eaten 3, and then Brian has eaten 3, and then we will probably eat the other 3 tonight. So. Yeah.
I did have a startling discovery at Easter about deviled eggs.
Uh-oh.
But a deviled egg is really only half of an egg, right?
Correct.
I mean, so you could double up on them and, not feel like if you eat 12, you've really only had 6 eggs.
You've only had 6 eggs. This is true. And then all the stuff that you put inside.
Oh, that's top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like accessories, it's not a big deal.
It's like accessories. There you go. Yeah. I have to say, I definitely do make the best deviled eggs. I mean, hands down. I just want to throw it out there. Like I make the best deviled eggs. So just throwing that out.
All right. Well, we're welcoming back the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, did you partake in any deviled eggs up in the Pittsburgh?
No, we didn't. We ended up, we went out for Easter this year with my parents because it just, we had just gotten back and I wasn't prepared to make anything right after a trip. So we went to this great little restaurant near us, but had like the best Easter brunch. Truly, they just had lots of good food. So there's nothing better than a brunch, really.
True story.
There's just something about it. It like makes the Sunday better. So
agreed.
Anyways, yes, and I did. I'm full of all kinds of knowledge on all kinds of things right now. So get it while it's hot, as they say. By tomorrow, this may all be gone. So
I always tell my fam, my brain's so big it hurts. Some days I feel that way. Some days I feel like I left it at the bus stop.
I know. This is our area of expertise, though. Really and truly, like this is the sweet spot for all three of us. This is like where we shine. Ask us about math or chemical reactions, biology.
Hey, I was a science teacher. Back off now. I can give that stuff. I'm not wearing a Taco Bell t-shirt. I'm much more teacherish.
Are you still doing like chemistry stuff?
I could. Yeah. I mean, I worked for NASA. I did. I got a check from NASA for a couple summers. And not that there was high requirements to work at space camp. I mean, there was, but anyway, that's how our people here. And we got an important question, Pam. And this one is, you talk about being it like just, this is a layup for you because here's the question. And it's from listener Christina. She asked it today, actually, as we're recording. And I said,
okay, I'm ready.
She wants to know. She's going to go down to the studios. Now, she's not going until September, the fall, I believe. She wants to know if Brown Derby Lounge is serving foods or is it just serving drinks? Like, what is the status currently of Brown Derby Lounge? Because I told her Pam's down there, and I'm sure she's fly by. So
I did look. They're still just serving drinks at this time. They are not serving food. And it used to be really when they're operating at full capacity. They used to allow you not only to order from the lounge menu, which had some unique offerings that you couldn't get inside the restaurant, but they also used to let you order from the full Brown Derby menu. And right now they just aren't offering food, I guess, because they don't want people to linger. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Too. It's outside and the Brown Derby's open. Why can't we get people some food? But anyways, yeah, they're not. Baseline Tap House is they still have their menu. Now they don't have a lot to choose from, so keep that in mind. There's just some limited choices right now, I will say, at Hollywood Studios now and forever.
That's true. Pam, you said there's not a lot of choices at Baseline, but really, honestly, do you need anything more than the pretzel with cheese as well as the charcuterie board? Ding that bell, mister.
No, you don't.
You don't. Really,
if you do, you can just order 2.
Exactly. That's a meal for me right there. Like
2 pretzels, please.
2 pretzels with cheese and then charcuterie board. I'm in. Yes. Let's go. Yes.
Yeah, I know. So anyways, it just is, it's not right now. And we all hope that it opens soon, especially since the weather is beautiful. If ever there is a time that this should be open, it is right now. So I hope that COVID brings about a change where we have lots more lounges.
Hey, it makes sense. You're down there for vacation and food tastes better outside on vacation. I've always said that. You've said that too. So, all right, here's a question from my good buddy, Len Wilcox, one of my great guests over at the Magic for Less. He says, I was wondering about the stability of Rise of the Resistance mechanics, if they have improved since the first couple of months of its opening. He says, my wife and I went down last January with Mike's help, and you almost expected it to be down most of the time and felt pretty lucky if you got to ride. We had boarding group 40 and rode at dinner time. Have the downtimes for the ride decreased significantly since then? So Ricky, what are you seeing? I'm seeing that it's getting a lot better.
I think it's getting better too. They're getting through the boarding groups a lot faster from what I've seen, which is a great thing. I'm glad to see that it's starting to be more stable. Now, of course, you're still going to get those times where it does go down, and it just kind of depends on the day. And it could go down for a short period of time. It could go down for a long period of time. Never know. With an attraction that complex, it's you just don't know what part of it is not working. But I do think for the most part, it is definitely being a little more stable. So that's a good thing.
All right. Next question is from Lisa. She's in Buffalo. She says, "Hey, BOGP crew, my family and I are headed down to stay at Pop Century at the end of April. We have never stayed at Pop, and I'm excited to stay at a Skyliner resort. I've heard mixed reviews about the bus transportation at Pop, and I am slightly concerned about our Magic Kingdom day. We're considering taking a break and heading back to the hotel midday. I know that the wait for a bus midday tends to be long, even during non-COVID times. So I am imagining it could be even longer now. So I'm wondering if you think it'd be worth it to take a bus to any Skyliner resort, depending on the first one that comes, and then taking the Skyliner back to Pop from there. Thanks for your input and all that you do, Lisa." Okay, here's what I think about this one. I kind of like the ingenuity, right? Because you got to be creative. Like when I stay at Pop, or I'll hop an art bus in a blink, and whichever one's there, especially if art like rolls up with a big old stretchy bus, and they tend to get the bigger ones sometimes, I'll hop there, walk over to Pop. Here's the one thing you do got to consider. That is not a bad idea. But you got to remember, if something happens, say you're on that bus and a storm comes on and the Skyliner gets shut down, you are stranded where, there'll be ways, but then you're really adding up the time. I mean, if you get stuck at Caribbean Beach, Skyliner goes down, you're talking, you got to take a bus then to the studios, probably get on another bus to Pop, and then you've tripled your time. I don't know, Pam, what do you think about this kind of a strategy? Because I think you do got to think about, with transportation as it is right now, it's not optimal, that you really do have to be even maybe more aggressive in the mornings from Pop Century, getting out to the bus stop very early to be, ahead of the crowd. And also midday, they don't send as many buses because most people are in the parks.
Right. I honestly, in my limited bus experience, I will say that I don't find midday to be long waits.
Yeah.
They still are running, a baseline amount of buses, even though the demand is not there. So it's not typical that you're going to roll up and have to wait for a bus other than the first one that comes. So that's something to take into consideration. The only time I would do it is, again, like Mike mentioned, if you were staying at Pop or Art of Animation and one of those buses came, I would absolutely, if I'm within, if the bus stops are right next to each other.
That's another.
Exactly.
Beach could be on the other, because now they have
100%.
Yeah,
there are 3 different lanes from the Magic Kingdom that buses stop in. So consider that. The only time I would do that were like sister resorts.
I've seen that many times. And we lost Pam's video, but she's still here audio, so we are
good. That's weird. I can't hear her at all. So
I still hear. We'll get her in here. Okay, so
okay,
next question, we'll get it figured out as we go here. Jennifer in the live chat says, "We're going in December. Will Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique reopen? I have a 5-year-old that needs, and it's got stars for emphasis to go." So give us odds, Ricky. What do you think for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in December?
Again,
to reopen, honestly.
What'd you say, Mike?
I think it's going to be one of the very last things to reopen, just because it's so hands-on. I mean, this is a very intimate experience, right? I mean, there's somebody messing with your hair, they're right up on you.
The only thing is like, I mean, here in Georgia, I mean, like salons and stuff like that have been open for a while. So like it's like the fact that it's a salon is
not a salon, it's a Bibbidi Bobbidi.
I know, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. You're right.
Actually, Cliff.
The only thing I can think of is the reason why it hasn't necessarily reopened is how tightly, the space is, and you can't really social distance in a place like that. So that's one of the things that I think may be hindering it. So I think, it'll all depend on what's going to happen with restrictions as far as social distancing. And as we move forward, December, we still have, there's still quite a bit of time until December. So you never know, we may see it reopen by then. I wouldn't count on it, but if it does happen, then it'll be a good thing. And that's kind of how I would look at everything as we move forward. If it's something that you really have your heart set on, don't count on it happening. But then if it actually does happen, then that's a positive. And I think that'll tie into another question that we'll probably have later on that I keep seeing popping up in the chat. So
we're getting tons of questions in the live chat about when will this open, when will that open, when will Walt Disney World be back to full capacity? I mean, I wouldn't expect Walt Disney World back to full capacity till 2022, just because they're going to be conservative with it. Not saying that they wouldn't be ready. I don't know, Pam. Let's kind of hit that question because we have a lot. It's kind of the theme of the chat questions. We have some other ones today, but what do you think? I mean, we're sitting here in early April. Things are going well with vaccination, programs here in the States. I mean, things are, knock on wood. I mean, at least we're doing better. We could say that. I think everybody agrees, but we're definitely not out of the woods yet. And the thing I think that we got to remember as Americans, as folks in the United States, is that Walt Disney World is an international destination. And right now we don't have international travel. So things are looking positive, but I mean, Walt Disney World's looking at this from a bigger picture, from maybe like the 30,000 foot view where, they're not successfully back to operation until they got all the folks from the UK, all the folks coming over from Australia, Japan, all over the world. And we're nowhere near close to that. I mean, what do you think, Pam? Oh, you're muted, or maybe you're not. Do I got you in there?
No.
Oh, no audio. Hang on, Pam. Let me get you. Okay, 3052. Here, go out and go back in if we'll try to get your audio. That's weird because we had our audio and no video.
Yeah, that was weird. And then we had
sorry of that, guys. We'll get
video and no audio. That's bizarre.
So click 2, 1, do. I hear you clicking.
I'm here.
There she is.
Boom. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so just take it and I'll go from there.
Okay. So I think it's interesting what's happening right now. Disney is always going to take a conservative approach because one of their tenets is, of course, to keep their guests and their cast safe. And that supersedes, really so many other needs and wants that they have within their company, so many other things that they do. I think the other thing that impacts this is that the decision is not just solely theirs. There's recommendations made, by so many things. I mean, right now, consider what's going on in the cruise line industry. Even though the cruises are willing to make the requirement that people have to be vaccinated to go, the CDC is still not really giving them a clear path to sailing at this point. And, if these companies could, they'd be out there and they'd be doing it safely since people are going to be vaccinated. So I think there's just a lot of things at play here right now that they're working on. I think that there's probably some behind the scenes kind of things that they want to get worked out before they bring more people into it. I know that guests are anxious to see everything get back to normal, but I think it's just sort of an unfair burden to put on any business to say, when are you going to get back to normal? I think really more what we need to be asking is, what can I go there and do now? And then as a consumer, you get to decide this is either worth it for you to go and experience this or it's not worth it. But to go there and be upset because things are not how they used to be, I think is a little unproductive for everybody.
Amen. I think
and
that
it just is. It's like that, not just with Disney, with all these different businesses. So I'm not trying to be preachy or anything here. I just think it's a personal choice that will make you a bit happier if you go with that point. So
Pam, I have never heard that put so well. And that was perfect. I mean, really, honestly, like that's exactly what people need to do. They need to look at what is happening now. If they're okay with what they see happening now, then, they should take their trip. If they're not, then, they should consider, it's one of those things where like they should consider what they can do to make it so that they can take their trip. I feel like that's the perfect way to put that. So
I know. And just like things even in your home life, I'm sure are still very different than what you're used to. And I think for me and the times that I've gone during this time, I'm always so grateful to be able to still be there and experiencing it. Is it different? It is different. And it will continue to be different for an extended period of time. Our world is a little different right now. And we don't know when that will end or if it will end. It will, some of these things be part of our new normal. So I think that's just where we have to have the flexibility in that space. But I wanted to mention too, for the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique people, I believe if you contact Four Seasons, their salon and spa is doing something similar. So try and see. At least they were at one point. So try there and see if they have any availability.
That's lovely.
Right. I'm getting a pedicure there.
There you go. Good for you.
No, I'm not. I would never punish anybody to look at my ugly runner's feet. It's like this. I mean, it's like a toenail. No toenail.
Oh, stop. I'm going to throw up. No, stop. I'm actually going to throw up. That's so gross. Oh.
Okay, next question. We are taking dates. Okay, I'm writing this down. Aaron's got a great question. Is it too late to place bets on when the People Mover will be open? Supposed to be April 1st. Fools. Just kidding.
Yeah, April Fools.
I'm optimistic. Okay, I'm writing this down. I'm going tax day. No, typical tax day. I'm going the 15th of this month. I'm giving it 2 more weeks because it's been moving. Ricky, what's your date? I'm just writing this down. So
I mean,
I gotta make it a whole dissertation.
I paid attention to the rumors, so I have to say the beginning of May.
Okay, so give me a date. 5/1.
5/1. Yeah.
All right, Pam.
I'm gonna go May 2nd.
All right, see, look,
I'm doing the prices right.
Buck on us. She did the dollar bid on us.
She did the dollar bid. I feel cheated.
Dude, last.
Come on, I'm gonna tell me what's my prize. Do I get an Alf?
Nope.
Signature? Yes, you get an Alf signature.
An Alf autograph.
When that thing opens on the 15th, they're getting the $100 bill out of Bob Barker's pocket.
Speaking of that, can you even imagine the uproar that would be if Bob Barker was like, reach into my pocket and get the $100 now? That would so not be loud on TV.
Or no, even worse, would be Richard Dawson on the.
Yes.
Dude,
so many gross kisses.
All the 70s.
So many gross kisses. No,
I'm
please
saying,
don't.
you know me, man. I watched Love Boat all day.
Mm-hmm.
The 70s were where it was. I mean, it was a fun world. Anyway, Jennifer's got a question. Can you do rider swap with Rise? Yes, you can.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. But everybody has to have a boarding group.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, make sure everyone has a boarding group. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Next
you can't do the thing where you get one person.
No.
Sweet. And people be having kids for that reason.
Right? You know it would happen, or at least renting out their child.
Right?
Yeah. Mommy, why is my name boarding group? First name boarding, middle
last name group.
Rallman. Okay, Kate has a question. Hey guys, DVC member here. Are you seeing low availability for rooms in the fall? DVC studio rooms are basically sold out. I will say yes, the fall is let's see, what do they say in Missouri? Hotter than a firecracker? It's hot, especially if you get around the beginning of October, smoking hot. You don't want to touch it. There's not much left.
No.
People want to travel and the rooms are going. So if you want to go this fall, you need to book yesterday. Just remember, because you can lock in with a small deposit, fully refundable. But I mean, once those rooms are gone, it doesn't matter if you have $1,000 in your pocket, you can't get them. I mean, they're gone. So Pam, just real quick thoughts on that.
It is. And that's, I came back from my trip and I've been looking at different availability on different dates and seeing, you have not just the resort availability that you need to keep track of, but also the park the park reservation availability that you have to keep track of. So that was really the thing I've been walking away with and telling people this. Like, I know my job is a travel agency owner, right? And of course I would love you to book early because then we have more time to plan, help you get excited. You have more time to pay. But more than anything else, I want you to be able to get to Disney if you want to get to Disney. And the way that we can ensure that you can do that is if you place that $200 refundable deposit on your vacation. And a package is going to work best for almost everybody. The reason being is that when you book a vacation package, we can, as soon as you put the $200 down, you can start making your park reservations. And this is for into 2022 at this point. And what happens if in 3 months you decide you won't be able to go? We cancel, you get your $200 back. So that's what it makes it more important than ever before to put down that deposit early and get something on the books. So.
And another thing to go with that, a lot of guests don't realize that the difference between booking a room only and a package right now is we can remove the tickets later if you need to. Say you come into an annual pass or something in the fall and the winter, whatever, we could pull those down. It's called a basic package. Basically, it's a room only, but you just pay it off at 30 days. It's same price, right? As a room only. It's just got a little bit different, cancellation, but it's not a big deal. But the thing is, like Pam said, you can make the theme park reservations immediately. And here's the other kicker. Your deposit's a lot of times way cheaper. Putting the tickets on it because it's always $200. Doesn't matter if it's a $10,000 stay, it's $200 for the deposit. I mean, if you're staying one night at the Grand Floridian is a room only, your deposit might be $800.
Yeah,
exactly.
You would think it'd be more expensive, but it's not. So another reason.
No,
anyway.
It is. There's a lot of pluses for that right now, and the availability is plus number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So.
And 7 and 8. Okay, let's see here. Rob's just asking, he's always in here. Thanks for always being here, Rob. We sure appreciate it. Do you guys think any discounts will be available for February? Again, I would say probably, but again, it's based on availability. I mean, if Disney has the entire resort sold out, there's no incentive for them to discount. But February, typically, we had discounts this February, didn't we? Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, probably, but don't hold me to that. But I would say yes. Hey, speaking of Justin Timberlake, question in the live chat. Any tips for going to Walt Disney World when it's going to be May? We're used to traveling to Walt Disney World in the winter months, but this year we will be there in May with 3 small children. Looking for any and all tips. Thanks. Okay, we're going to each give 1 tip, and I'm going to steal the one Pam usually gives. It's 3 small kids. Don't overdrive them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if they take naps, go back midday. I know that we just talked about transportation can be. If you drive them from park opening to park close and if the kids aren't happy, trust me, mom and dad, whoever's going, grandparents, whatever, nobody around them is going to be happy. The person standing next to them in small world line, not happy. So, even though you might say, I want to be in the park for 12 hours, you might do 8 hours of a lot higher quality theme park visiting and have 4 hours of downtime. I would say take a break with little kids. And guess what? Little kids are going to like the pool more than they're going to like the Magic Kingdom. Sad. True. Ricky, what do you got?
I am going with the fact that it is May, and while at home it may be starting to get warm, in Orlando it is summer already. So make sure you bring fans. You bring
I always have fans. People are always like, Mike, are you good, Mike, from the Our Guest podcast? I'm like,
No.
I never had that. But that'd be cool. That's in my dream. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Fans, cooling towels, extra bottles of water to carry around with you, sunscreen. Make sure you think like that you're traveling in the middle of July, because that's how it feels while you're walking around the parks in May. No matter what part of May you're going in, that's how it feels. So it may just be in the early 70s, mid 70s where you're at home. It's in the 80s/90s usually in May. So just keep that in mind.
And Pam, going to you just mentioned before we started recording, there was a day that you were down there last week. It was 92 degrees.
Right. And then toward the end, it was 50 some degrees in the morning. So we had to prepare for everything. Layers are going to be your friend. But the small children, I always advise flexibility. They are going to find magic in places that you never, ever expected it. It was a little kind of heartbreaking. We were behind this family walking into the Magic Kingdom, and it was clear that their little one was totally entranced by these bubbles that were being blown, right? And really wanted to just sort of hang out there. And the parents were sort of dragging them along to go do the other thing. And I understand, because you want to get stuff done. I really, truly do. But I was also thinking, man, you would have got some great photos of, playing in the bubbles with the castle way down the street in the background. Like, it just would have been a really cool memory. Little kids, find things that they really want to do. So, one of the things you can do is sort of let them be your guide in that space. Let them lead a little bit and just be flexible. But be flexible, but keep them on their schedule, like Mike suggested. That's the most important thing.
I will say for Easter Sunday, beautiful here. My niece got my nephew a $5 little bubble machine from Walgreens. Dude, he's 3 years old. We had him out on the deck. That thing was entranced. I mean, and Pam took awesome pictures because she got downwind, so the bubbles were coming at him.
Yeah.
And he was in the background. Oh man. Look, she said it looked like an Instagram filter, which it did. Go ahead.
I will say, like, you know, if you want to get some souvenirs like that, they do have some great souvenirs at like a Walgreens, like bubble, $5 bubble ones and stuff like that. Because you know they go for way more than that at Disney. So you could just pop that sucker out and go, here you go, and they'll be just as happy. So yeah.
Buy 7 of them at your side hustle. Pays
exactly. Sell them while you're down there. Hey, look what I got.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Kara's got a question. I wouldn't do that.
No.
She says, have you seen the ability to get park reservations last minute? We're headed to Walt Disney World Saturday and have a park day at Epcot, but we're hoping to go to Hollywood Studios for Monday. I've been watching for a month and so far nothing has opened. Thanks. Okay. I kind of giggled because it's like, yeah. Oh, Hollywood Studios probably.
Yep. There you go. You said the magic words, Hollywood Studios.
That's tough nut to crack. I don't know, Pam, you were down there. I mean, did you guys try to do any flip-flopping or anything while you were there?
We did, and we were successful at doing it. I think the thing that you need to note is that you may find some Hollywood Studios open up after 7:00 when people did not get their Rise of the Resistance. And you can swoop in, grab a couple, and then try at 1:00 to get the Rise of the Resistance thing. Or
I'm editing that back out because I'm going to
no, or just be okay with the fact that you may not ride Rise that day. There are still plenty of things to do. You can still do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. You can do Slinky Dog. You can do Smuggler's Run. You're going to have plenty to do, even if you don't do Rise. And Rise is absolutely a spectacular ride. I mean, just really, I often think of it sort of like the way that they described Mary Poppins when it was released. Yeah. It was their whole bag of tricks and they put it in this one. So it's very cool. But I will say, as big of a Star Wars fan as I am, it does not break my day if I don't get in and do Rise. I'm like, you know what? We got it this time. That's awesome. I like it. Or we're going to do this time. We're going to focus on some of these other things. And there's lots to do there.
Yeah, I mean, if the Force isn't with you that day and you don't get to do Rise, just get a second Ronto wrap and just eat your sadness. All right, Kim's got a question, and I just want to sing "O Canada." I haven't heard "O Canada" all year. The teams in the States in the NHL are not playing any Canadian teams because they're all playing each other this year. So there's no "O Canada," which I love "O Canada." Anyway, just hi from Canada. Hi, Kim. She says, I'm really, really hoping to be able to get down there in late fall, early winter. I've booked a package just in case, hopeful thinking, because again, if you don't know, the border between Canada and the United States still remains closed.
Yes.
If miracle of miracles, the world opens up and I decide to get an annual pass, will they deduct some amount already paid on my package towards the annual pass? So this one's actually, now we don't know how this is going to work because again, annual passes are definitely in limbo right now at Walt Disney World. They're not selling new ones. There's, people are doing things. Disney's doing stuff on a case-by-case basis for folks that had them, let them expire, all that kind of stuff. Here's how it worked pre-COVID, is that if you had a package with like a 10-day hopper on it, you could upgrade that 10-day hopper. During your trip, you could do that, and they would take the value of the ticket that you paid in the package towards the annual pass. So what I would usually do is book a package, go down, and then pay the rest of it. Because what it did was I didn't have to pay the entire annual pass at one time. And that way I had a package and I could qualify for package discounts before I left home too. So it's kind of like I was trying to play the game. So that's how it worked. That's how I would expect it to work. But don't know. And Kim said, missed you guys. We miss you. We miss all of our Canadian friends. I have a lot of Canadian friends and work with quite a few guests at the Magic for Less from Canada. And it's just, it's hard. We have those conversations via email and via text and stuff. And, our Canadian friends want to come. And I understand that, you got to wait till it's the right time. But, we're doing for a lot of guests is, we move the trips from spring 21 to, late fall 21. And some people are now moving into spring 22. And, I just keep telling everybody it's better to have a trip delayed than a trip canceled. At least it gives you something to look forward to. And we'll make it. You'll get there and it'll be worth it. It'll be way better. But I get it. It's going to be tough. All right. Michelle says, if the Halloween Christmas parties return this year, what changes do you think we'll see? I think Santa he's not going to be there. No. And so help yourself candy stations? No, is that just
No.
a dream? I would love that. Just
No.
help yourself and scoop in. No.
No.
Okay, give us one thing you think might change if they asked you, make this party safer. We're doing Halloween. What are you gonna do?
Well, I think this is coming up because I think there are rumors that the Halloween party may be announced, which, again, these are just rumors. I believe rumors with gigantic grains of salt in these instances. So there's nothing necessarily announced. Of course, I say that, and it's Disney, so they'll have announced it because that's how we do this. So if I think that they're going to have the Halloween party or the Christmas party, I do not think we're going to have fireworks. Just plain and simple. That's the one thing I can see them not doing is fireworks. So
okay.
Yeah.
I say Harmonious is going to happen late summer.
I know you think Harmonious is going to happen.
I'm just saying. I have a feeling.
But see, I think at Epcot there's a better chance because you can spread out around the lagoon. At the Magic Kingdom, there's no spreading out. You are there on Main Street USA. That is the only real way to see those fireworks because they use the projection mapping technology. So I don't at the Magic Kingdom, I don't see it happening. Maybe at Epcot, but I don't see it happening yet.
Think outside the box. The Halloween party this year is at Epcot. No, it's not.
Yeah, don't
do that. Trying to ruffle your feathers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's one other thing that may change if they bring back these hard ticket parties?
So I think we'll continue to see the character cavalcades because not only is it a way to physically distance everyone and not have them all waiting up for this one thing, but I think that guest feedback is that they love the character cavalcades as opposed to having, one set time with this one parade. You really do get to see there is a way for them to push through all the different floats. And they're doing it now, and it's really effective. It's great. I've actually seen more characters since they have reopened than I've ever seen in my whole life, really and truly.
Same.
But I will also say right now, Universal is doing their cinematic celebration, which is their nighttime show. It happens around a lagoon. And what happens is there are markers on the ground, and you do need to stand at your marker. I do envision a time and place where there will be circles all up and down Main Street, all around the hub, and even extending into the other areas of the park where you do have a view of the fireworks. I think this would be much easier to control during a party situation because people aren't going to be like, they will know what to expect. And think of it like this. What if you paid a certain price to attend the party and you paid an additional price if you wanted to be on one of the spots for the fireworks?
But what do you do if you don't have a spot? I mean, you're just going to be like, whoa, fireworks, and you're going to stop like in the hot lava. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They will, the way that they have it now, it'll have to be gated somehow. But I feel like, and this is not something, this is my speculation, is my own personal opinion. This is not from anything, but I envision that it could happen, that there could be a way to do this. And I really am looking forward to it. I know that they want to get the fireworks back. I know that guests want to see that. I will tell you, when we saw the cinematic celebration at Universal, it was just, I like shed a tear a little bit because it's just such the perfect way to end the night. It's a water screen show. It has that, and there's sounds, and there's fireworks, and there's lasers and things like that. But I love it. I love ending my night at a theme park with a really good nighttime show. I think that they're going to be creative, but I think there's a possibility that we could see something happen. So.
Kind of sounds like a fireworks show that might happen at Epcot here soon. Just
agreed.
Do it across the street. Maybe they can do it before October. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Justice got a good question. We got two more. We're going to sneak them in here. Justice, how is it at MCO right now leaving? How long in advance should we get to the airport when we're leaving? We have to check with having to check our own bags now. I'm super conservative. I like airports. I think they're fun because I didn't fly forever. I like being there, and I'll get an Auntie Anne's pretzel or something at MCO at the gate. Something fun. I take Magical Express a lot, so they pick you up 3 hours early. I'd say don't leave Walt Disney World any later than 150 minutes before your flight, maybe an hour and a half, 2.5. I don't know. You guys probably are more aggressive on that. Pam, what would you like? What's the latest you guys get over there?
So we have TSA pre-check, and we always fly Southwest, which the dropping off your bags thing is actually really easy to do. But I always go by what the airport is recommending. MCO actually on their website will tell you how many minutes in advance you should arrive. Definitely check that. Then you'll get the official word and you'll know exactly what to do. There are times when, it might bump a little bit in busier. It was busier last weekend. And there will be times when it does bump up in busyness. So check that site for sure.
All right, last question is from Julie Anderson, and it says, Julie, and sorry, the button's over the top. Eric and Daniel are here. We're staying at Beach Club for a week in June of 2021. Where she has a few questions. Where's the Skyliner station at Epcot? It's right there at the International Gateway, right outside of Beach Club. You just walk towards the International Gateway. It's before you get there on your left. You cannot miss it. There's big strings and buckets above your head. Can't miss it. Does it go straight to Hollywood Studios?
Not from International Gateway.
Nope. You would go to Caribbean Beach. You would jump off at Caribbean Beach and you would get on, but it is not a big deal. It's really quick.
Yeah.
So you'd have one stop. Would it be faster to just walk from the Beach Club to Hollywood Studios? Yeah. It'd probably be, I bet you would save 10 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. I
don't know.
I
don't know.
I'm pretty sure they run.
I'm just saying, like, the Skyliner moves pretty fast, but they do have to backtrack to go to the International Gateway, so that's true.
And then you got to get off, you got to get back, and I mean, it's continuous if on either way. It's probably 10 minutes either way.
Yeah.
I would take Skyliner.
Yes.
Is there a bus from Beach Club to Hollywood Studios? Yes. There's usually I don't know with the Skyliner though. There might not be actually.
I don't think so.
That's right. There's not. I don't think.
Unless there's like a weather issue.
Yeah.
And then that. But typically there is not.
Well, because there's the boat usually. So
right. There's the boat transportation.
That's slow. You'll definitely beat that walk-in or Skyliner.
Yeah.
It's relaxing. Let's see. We have 3 days of park passes for Hollywood Studios because we want to ride Rise of the Resistance. We got all of our dining reservations this morning at 3 a.m., 60 days out Phoenix time. I love that. She says we're eating at Via Napoli, Beer Garden, Jungle Skipper Canteen, California Grill, Brown Derby, Yak and Yeti, Mama Melrose, Tepanito, Oga's Cantina, 50s Prime Time. Dude, I am going down.
I'm so hungry. No kidding.
Julie did email me this morning with the California Grill screenshot. She's like, I got it.
That's awesome.
3:27 was the timestamp. I was like, dedication pays off on the West.
Sure.
Right.
She asked though, last question. Is there live music at Beer Garden? Has anybody been there post-COVID? Because I love Beer Garden, but I haven't been there since it reopened.
I believe there is some kind of entertainment. Yes, for sure. I'm almost positive. I have not been
that big old Ricola horn.
Right.
I think it's right up there on you. Oh, this seems like that thing could be a super spreader.
Right?
Dude, it's like a 50-foot long horn. It's out in the middle of your freaking frugen or whatever you're eating. I don't know what it's called. I hope that wasn't a bad word in German.
Right?
Your Frankfurters.
Yeah, that's a word.
Anyway, so we'll figure that out and post it on Twitter if we figure it out. Because Pam, I think, is looking it up, but I don't know if the live band is there. But I think they actually are, though.
Alfred says they do a show at Beer Garden. So
yeah, I'm almost positive. I think that they actually have the times posted outside for when the entertainers will be there. So
yes, and you know what, they do the bells. The bells would be probably more safe than horns. Because the guy that does the bells, that still blows me away because he's like crazy.
Maybe they point the horn differently. Maybe
it points backwards. Yes.
That's where you point that thing. All right. We're out of here. We're going to be back again on Friday. Pam's going to talk about some of the highlights of her recent trip. We're also going to talk about things that still just kind of amaze us with Disney technology, Disney experiences that when we're there, this thing, some of these attractions, some of these features of an attraction could be there almost 50 years now. And we still look at them and we're like, whoa, that is so cool. There's little parts of attractions, hotels, stuff like that. So we'll talk about that on Friday as well. Don't forget, in the meantime, you can follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at BRGuestMike and at BRGuestPod. Of course, subscribe on Facebook and YouTube. And our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We kind of talked about it during the podcast today. one of these agents over at the Magic for Less going to take great care of you. You know, one of the things, we don't talk about this much, but once you book a trip with the Magic for Less, you get these little reminder tips every so often in your inbox. You also get not only tips, but just, you know, like timeline things like, okay, this stuff should be happening about now. Let's start thinking about this. Let's have this discussion. And some of them are just little fun tips. Like, you're 14 days away from your trip. Guess what? 2 weeks, you're out of here, you know, and like, get ready, you know, pack your bags. It's, you know, they're little reminders that are practical and help you plan a better trip, but they also, how fun is it to get an email about vacation and not an email from the boss? You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants that? So it's just one of those little perks, and we get you excited for that trip. And that's the whole goal. We want you to have a great trip, not only while you're there, but hey, it's fun before you go. Let's plan. Let's have fun. Let's talk about it. So just drop by the magicforless.com, fill out the quote form, mention the show. We'll take great care of you. Get back in touch with you right away. Look at some options and get you down to your favorite place. Check them out again over at the magicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. Thanks to everybody who continues to do that. It means a lot, and it really does help. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. And a huge shout out to our patrons. You're allowing us to do the 4 shows a week. Plus, we have a new name for the Sunday night show. We debuted it last night. You guys probably didn't hear this, right? Here's the new show on Saturday night or Sunday nights, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. It's you, me, and Scotty G.
Oh my goodness.
One of our listeners sent that in last week. I thought it was hilarious.
Stop. That's
It's the caller
wow.
is you.
That's
it's me,
special.
It's Scotty G. So yeah,
That's
so
special.
if you want to become a patron, get Mike in the Midwest every Thursday as well. There's a lot of stuff going on. Just visit patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back again on Friday. Pam and Ricky will join me and we'll have a good time. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All right, I'll get that. Well, let me get this real quick. It'll take 2 seconds because I have the timestamp. I got you in there. Hang on. We're nowhere near close to that. I mean, what do you think, Pam? Hang on,
I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, that
it's
was
just-
weird.
The P Live just does it sometimes. You're clicking.
I'm here.
There you are. Boom. Okay.
right.
So just take it and I'll go from there.
Okay. So I
think I got it. Let's see. Delete. Nowhere's near close to that. I mean, what do you think, Pam? Nowhere's near.
So
It's
I-
like my
I-
There
grandpa.
you go. Yep.
There it is. Boom. Done. Okay. File save. Episode 1879. It looks so weird. Everything's so funky today.
I don't know. It's a weird day today. Gotta say.
Or
It
even
is-
James was about on DCL, and this guy's as chill as they are with it Cruise Line. His computer wasn't working. He almost said a bad word. James is like the most conservative guy I ever talked to at DCL. And this thing was like, he's like, somebody says they're in here. Well, I just made this thing. Like, you don't even have the I'm like, dude, James, I'm not in it because you can give me the confirmation number. I can't be in it. I only know what the number is. He's like, I know you're not in it. He's like, but it's saying somebody's in here. I can't link them. I'm like, chill. I was like, I'm having trouble too. I can't find like one night on a Wednesday night in May of 22 at Pop Century. I'm like, there's like 7 million rooms at that hotel. And I doubt the whole hotel sold out for Wednesday night in May of next year. He's like, oh, so yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at Steve sent me it's the spreadsheet. There's an actual spreadsheet.
Steve Forrester doesn't do things a little bit.
I love it.
He's all in, especially when it comes to something like computer wise for me, because he knows that I will not
Oh.
even like do it. So then he'll research and then send it to me. He's a good husband.
I mean, he totally I told you, Steve Forrester, best husband ever.
Right?
Even Brian knows it.
The problem is sometimes he knows it.
Yeah, I know. That's probably definitely
Oh,
a
you
problem,
got to peacock sometimes. Yeah.
right? Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. So
I like
he can't rest on his laurels. Though.
I like
Come
that
on
he
now.
even put the sale end date in here for
Yes.
dude, that is crazy.
that it's on sale, the sale end date, how much the sale is.
So let's do
I
the
love your
stuff that
husband.
let's do the stuff that kind of amazed, just a couple things that amaze us, and then Pam, we'll talk about your trip for like 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
And eat dinner. Okay, here we go. 1881. Welcome to episode 1881 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel, where we're working hard. You know what? I have a lot of guests that like to go to Alaska in 2022. So let's hope everything's back normal, because I got a lot of folks going west. It's going to be so fun. Glaciers must be popular. And I will say, I have seen the Love Boat episode where they head there. And in that episode, Isaac, the bartender, has a guide to Alaska, like it's some land, like it's some planet, you know, that nobody's ever heard of. He's like, we're going to go to Ketchikan. We're going to go to Skagway. We're going to go. And I'm like, I kind of want to book a Disney cruise. I'm ready to go. Sign me up for Alaska, even though I'm kind of a tropical guy, but I'm kind of feeling that vibe. So yeah, we're working hard for our guests, and travel is, it's an exciting thing. I think a lot of folks are getting ready to get out there, and you're here for a Disney podcast. We're going to get you down to World. We're going to get you cruising. We're going to get you to your favorite places. But today we're talking Disney. Pam is back from Walt Disney World. We're going to talk about that. And I was just thinking about this on my run the other day. We're going to talk about some of the things at Walt Disney World we've probably done 50 times. But every time you do it, you're like, how does that work? Like, it's crazy that we're doing this right now. So we'll talk about that as well. So joining me, of course, from the mouseforless.com, we have Ricky. Happy Friday, Ricky. What's up?
Happy Friday. It's, it's the glorious time of the year. It's April and the weather is usually pretty good. And, it's going to be a great weekend. I'm going to put it out there. It's going to be a great weekend. So
let's hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's baseball season. So I'm already in a better mood.
100%. Yeah. It's going to be great. Yes.
All right. Also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Happy Friday, Pam.
Happy Friday. I'm so glad that we're seeing great weather here, and it's just, spring, right? New beginnings. It's like such a positive time throughout the year. I loved seeing, we were at the park today and saw a bunch of little kids out playing, and it just felt like, man, these are the things I've been missing. So
yes. And we, you know what, today is the day of recording. It's the first day I've heard the cicada. They're coming out. I mean, they're kind of loud today. And this is the year they're going to be like deafening. And today was the first day I've heard them. So by the time the show publishes, it may be so loud that you hear it next Monday on the recordings.
That's hysterical.
Because they're here. Because I was out running this morning, and my good buddy Carl, he walks his dog one lap max when I run in the morning. So I go out at 5:30. He usually pops out about 6:10. Like, I know, like, if he doesn't come out by lap 17, something's wrong. Either I'm going slow too fast, or something's wrong with Carl. He comes out and he's like, he's an old guy. I love him. He's kind of an old gruff guy. He says, Mike, feels pretty good out here. Because I lap him like 3 times because he's an old dude. This is only a quarter of a mile little loop. So, first time it's always a weather comment. We always talk about, it's cold. Oh, no, it's perfect today. It's going to be a great day. And then the second time he's like, what's that noise? Is that the frogs or is that the cicada? And I think it's the frogs. But then the more I thought about it, they've been going nonstop all day. So now I feel bad. So tomorrow I got to be like, Carl, I was wrong. I'm the second or third lap.
Cicada.
Cicada. Not the first lap, because that's
not
weather.
The first lap. You got to talk about the weather. The first one.
Everything in the world has to be, you can't kick things out of order.
By the way, this is such an old man thing that you have just described. Like 100%. You would think that the story came from like a 70-year-old guy. Nope. Mike's not 70. So
thank you. I'm living my best life in this old folks retirement community that I live in, apparently. No, I mean, he's a good old guy. Like, he's got little Max. He's his dog about that big, and friends with Riley, all that kind of good stuff. So
that's funny.
All right. So let's get into the topic, because we're going to kind of do like a dual show today, because I don't think we have enough for this entire show. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, and there's been a lot of attractions that have been there since, it opened in 71. There's a lot of stuff that has come and gone. There's so many things that we ride over and over, we see as a show, or we, use this transportation method, and you don't think much about it. But when you stand back and you think about it, like, it's like, God, that is really a cool thing. And one of the things I was thinking about is the Tower of Terror. Now, I don't really like this ride a whole lot. It's okay, because I'm not one that likes to I would like this ride much better if it just dropped like in the old days. I'm fine with like a drop tower, but the bouncing back, again, I'm 70, apparently Ricky says. Yep. So my 70-year-old intestines can't handle no, and up and down and down. Oh, good, somebody's turn this thing off. I'm done. And it's fun because I like everything except the multiple drops, because I love the queue. I love the queue. I love the background loop. I love the lobby. I love the pre-show. I love, all the lightning and getting on the elevators and all that good stuff. It's a great ride. Here's the thing, though, that still amazes me that people don't talk about enough. The fact that in that ride, right, you're kind of like doing a drop ride. That's basically the point of it. You're going up in an elevator. But the fact that the elevator moves forward, like this elevator that lifted you, which is a common everyday kind of occurrence, all of a sudden just it's going out and you're just like, whoa. And the whole thing is, I still get nervous when you go into the drop chute. Like, I'm always like, I don't know how this really works, but I just hope I'm on whatever, like a platform or something.
Whatever I'm supposed to be on, I hope that's it.
Because I mean, I'm thinking like, what if it was just an empty chute? Like it's just gonna, there it is, game over. Like, okay, that was your ride, and that was the ride of your life, as Green Day might say. Hope you had the time of your life, because that's the end of the ride. But yeah, it's one of those things. Though it's so cool because it's an everyday elevator, and then all of a sudden you are moving horizontally through all these scenes, and then all of a sudden you're going down a chute again. I mean, that's crazy. Like it's still, I know that sounds weird because everybody's like, oh well, that's just the ride, but it's still, that is such a cool effect. So that's the one I'm going to throw in. It blows me away. We might do a couple others. So Ricky, is there anything else like that we do a lot, but it's still like, when you do it, it's like, this is still pretty awesome. This is great.
I mean, I think that one of the best things, and of course, if you really want to dive down into it, you can figure out how they do it. But one of the coolest effects is one of the oldest effects, and it is the Haunted Mansion. It is Madame Leota. Madame Leota, and how they do that. And what amazes me is how they get the ball to float up and then float back down, and there's no, she's still in there, and like that amazes me. And I don't want it ruined. Like I know I could easily figure it out, but like I love that they do that, and it's such a cool effect. And it just floors me every time I see her just float up and float down, and it's really like she's floating. I mean, it really does look like she's floating. It's so cool to me. It's so cool.
Dude, with things like this, I think what even makes it better, because like I've ridden Tower of Terror probably 50 times. I've been on Haunted Mansion way more than that, and it still does amaze me. You're exactly right. Madame Leota, the ballroom scene, looking at that, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, like I know that table's real. Like, I mean, like my brain just can't process it, even though I've listened to a gajillion podcasts and I know that it's a trick and all that stuff. But if you go to Walt Disney World, you can't be looking at it as a practical thing. You got to find the magic, right? I still believe, because that's why I go. But the thing is, here's what makes things like this better. I truly believe is like, say you're on Tower of Terror with somebody that's never been on it before, or somebody that's on Haunted Mansion that's never gone through that scene. Like that is where it really pays off. Cause like when somebody's on that, Tower of Terror with you, that sucker's going forward. And I'm still like, whoa, this is cool. Somebody that doesn't expect that, they're like, oh Lord, what's happening? Like somebody from, like if I had relatives from Poplar Bluff, Missouri that have never been there, they'd be like, oh, they'd be freaking out. I'd love every second of it. So Pam, what about you? I mean, what other things down there really kind of stand out? It's like, God, that's so cool.
There are so many attractions that still, I've probably ridden them 100 times and I still really think, man, that's cool. But the latest, I think, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, I think is so cool that because the ride vehicles, you sort of start out in one position and you end up in another position. Like this time we were right behind Goofy, the train engineer. And by the way, how did Goofy get Employee of the Month? I'm just going to say,
exactly,
that was a mistake.
Well, I mean, here's what I say about that, because I thought the same thing. But I mean, everybody gets a trophy, right? So they didn't work.
Right. It was sort of a pity vote. Everyone's like, they felt bad for him. But anyways, so we're right behind Goofy, and then all the cars sort of split apart. And by the end, we're not behind Goofy anymore. Yeah. There's another thing there. So this trackless system, it's lots of technology involved in it, but I think it because of that, it sort of feels like a different experience each time you ride. I see different things, I hear different things, you just have a different perspective depending on how you entered the room and all of that. So I really like that.
And Aaron in the live chat says Goofy is the only employee.
That's the only way he could get it.
That's a good point. Very good point. With that rideless, that trackless system, maybe you just lose some cars. Like, whoa, I was third, now I'm first. Oh, well,
right.
They got hit by the tornado. Okay, let's go around one more time. One other thing that's still like this whole attraction, and unfortunately, it's not open right now because of it's a challenging experience with COVID. But it's Enchanted Tales with Belle. And there's this scene where, like, in the pre-show, you see all this stuff, and then you walk through the wardrobe, you walk through the magical mirror, and I mean, it's like, it's crazy because like it's a transformation in front of you. And this is one of the newer things, well, relatively new, probably in the last decade for sure. But it's one of those things like, it's so like just jaw dropping. Like, okay, we're going to walk through that. Like I was just looking at that, and that was a solid piece of whatever. Also in that attraction, the interaction of like Lumiere, with Belle and everything. I mean, it's just like, that's Lumiere. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, that is straight out of the movie. He is right here in the room with me. So Enchanted Tales with Belle has a lot of that, even though it's not really it's not an experience that's, geared towards a 47-year-old guy. Thank goodness I had a little girl that liked it, and we went to it a lot. And, of course, when you're the 47-year-old dude, you're always the guy that's the guard,
right.
the steam armor, whatever. So I got to do that. But yeah, that's just one of those things that every time I see it, I'm just like, that's magic come to life. So that's what it is. All right, Pam, give us one more. What do you got?
So I think another thing that still to this day really it literally takes my breath away is the launch at Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yes.
Yeah. I still feel like I'm at the end of the attraction because it really is kind of a fast attraction. And I'm still trying to catch my breath from the launch and the loops and everything else. But more than anything else, it's just take your breath away, invigorating and exciting. It's not scary as much as it's just really, really exciting. Yeah,
it's awesome.
It gets my heart pounding every time I'm sitting there waiting for the launch to happen, because they're building up that anticipation because it's going to happen.
Right. Because here's the thing too with that. I mean, interrupt you, but like if you've ridden it a few times, like like how it works, right? You can feel like the train, like
you hear it,
into the rubber band, like
yes,
right.
You're like, okay, and then Steven Tyler, I can't understand him, but he's just like. I don't know if he's saying 3, 2, 1, but he's just like,
yes, he is.
And it's like, it's not even, you can't tell what he's saying, but you just know, like between like the second and the third sound that he screams,
you know you're going. But like, no, it's true. And seriously, like every time I'm sitting in that space and Steven Tyler starts yelling, I always sit there and I look at whoever. Well, I sit there and think, why am I on this? Why did I decide to get on this attraction and have this anticipation, nervousness just happen to me? Like, why did I do this? And it's every time. It happens every time I get on the ride.
I was like, is he counting or is he just like I don't know. Is he so excited? He's just gonna roads jammed. Everybody get ready. We're going on the expressway. I love the ride. That is a great ride. And the thing is that's a great ride because it's short. Like if it was twice as long, I probably couldn't handle it.
True.
But right. Yes.
It's a quick little shot of adrenaline.
Yeah.
All right, Ricky, give us one more, then we're going to talk about Pam's trip.
Okay, so the attraction that I'm going with, I am still amazed at how they really get this whole thing to work. And it is the American Adventure. If you've ever seen the American Adventure, you know that there are different scenes that pop up and showcase different characters throughout the whole thing. And the way, like, again, if you've been in the Disney community for a while, you kind of have a general idea of how this works. And there are some backstage tours that take you and just actually see how this works. I haven't done that tour yet, but it's on my bucket list of things to do. But the way that this system works together in conjunction with each other, it absolutely floors me. I mean, and you have to think this attraction was built when the park was built. So, this isn't like a new thing that they've done, but the way that they were made to synchronize all of this, it just amazes me. And then you have like the added thing of like watching Will Rogers, twirl the.
I can't even do a lasso.
Twirl the lasso. I mean, you got an audio animatronic actually twirling a lasso. Exactly. And then the handshake between.
Oh, hey, no, I was going to say something because you know what? That was so far ahead of its time. You got Mark Twain and Ben Franklin in the COVID-friendly handshake.
That's right. Exactly. Yes. So, and the fact that Ben Franklin walks up the stairs, I mean, that is really cool too. So I'm just saying, the technology just completely floors me in American Adventure, and they've done such an amazing job with that attraction. And it's so great. So I'm going with the American Adventure.
Plus, it man.
I'm just saying that ride is onions. I mean, like
it is. That's what I was gonna say. Plus, it manages to make me cry.
Exactly. Exactly.
I've seen it literally 100 times, and each time, at some point during it, it's just, I think it just makes you feel so proud of not just that we are American, but like just people as a whole, where we've come from in such a relatively short period of time. There's been just so many advances made. So
Absolutely.
I agree. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
I'm totally as patriotic as they come, man. I love the red, white, and blue. But the thing is, I would think that, it's especially like what it gets me is when the music starts, like for Golden Dream. I'm like, I'm gonna cry.
Here it goes.
I'm gonna cry. Nope. And I'm just like, screw it. I'm crying because it's like I'm gonna cry every time. Why fight it? It's like stifling a sneeze. It's coming. Yep. And the thing is, like, even if I wasn't an American, I mean, it's hard to say this because I am, but like it's humanity, right? I mean, it's like Walt Disney chasing his dream. It's like astronauts going into space. I don't care. It's great that they're Americans, but I mean, if somebody from Japan went into space and like overcame all these challenges to get to the moon where people rallied together, I would be just as proud of them people. It's one of those things. I think even though it is American centric, that's what it's about. I think it's also the accomplishments of humanity as a whole too.
That's true.
Agreed.
I think it's got an international audience. Okay. So we're going to talk about that on Sunday night. I just threw that in there because I want to hear about some of the stuff that's like for you, like, whoa, that's cool. Even after 50 years. Okay. So Pam, talk to us about your trip. You were just down there. Let's talk resorts. You're a resort person. So where'd you stay?
I am. So every time we go down for a trip, I think even if it's a trip that's mostly going to be vacation or leisure, it can't help to somehow turn into partially work, right? Because this is what I do, and getting to experience some of the new things, and especially to check out the resort, I think is always important. I was at Coronado this time, and I was just reminded once again of what a spectacular resort it is, because not only do you have 3 really distinct and separate areas to stay at Coronado. You have cabanas, which is sort of a tropical destination. There are hammocks, there's sand, it's by the water there. You have the casitas, which is sort of the more formal, if you will, of the areas. It's just, it has
West United States kind of feel to it.
Right. Yes.
And stuff. Yeah.
It does. And it has buildings that have multiple floors too. So there's that area. And then there's the ranchos, which is really sort of dry riverbeds and sort of, what I think of as like New Mexico or something like that. There's also Gran Destino Tower, which is a completely different experience as well. This is one of the few high-rise buildings in Walt Disney World resorts. When you think about it, there are very few resorts that are over a certain, height. There just aren't. There's a lot of lower buildings, even when you think about the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, the beach, the yacht club, we're hitting at most like 5 stories there. Yes. So Gran Destino in itself is very different. It has a different feel. It was a great compliment to the already spectacular Coronado. Now, they had redone the rooms in all of the other areas not too long ago, and they really are beautiful rooms, especially for a moderate resort. They have a very classic feel to them. They have a high-end feel to them, a contemporary feel to them. They're updated. There's plugs where there need to be and things like that. But there are a lot of Disney touches, I think, that really make them work too. So there's just so many things to love about Coronado. If you haven't experienced it yet, you may want to give it a try. There's great pools. You have not only the main pool, but you also have those quiet pools. So we were staying at Coronado because I wanted to experience it, see what it's like. And we just had a great time there. It's just always very relaxing for us to be there. There were lots of other things, though, that I really wanted to have the chance to do because for one reason or another, we hadn't on their past few trips. And one of those things was Everglazed had opened up. And it is the new donut and coffee shop in Disney Springs. It's located sort of by Splitsville there, one of those areas there. So let me tell you.
Remember, I'm staying at Disney Springs Hotel for like 3 nights, man. This is like target-rich environment.
You're going to want to go over and be there. It does open early. It opens at, I think 9 o'clock was the time it opened when we were there. So they have fantastic different donut flavors. Like coconut mounds and peanut butter chocolate explosion. And they have seasonal ones that were available. There was like a lemon cheesecake donut, that was when we were there because it was seasonal. Just so many great things. But I was most impressed with their coffee. The cold coffee is so good. Now, I'm a coffee person. I like coffee. I like it in the morning. I typically only drink like a cup in the morning, but I really enjoy it. It like starts my day. This coffee was so incredibly smooth and yet bold at the same time. I think that's what I enjoyed about it so much. It was a really good cup of cold coffee. So I will say, go ahead and go there. We managed to get a peanut butter chocolate coffee that had a peanut butter chocolate donut on top of it.
Shut up.
It's so good. It's so good.
Coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I'd eat the donut off the top.
It was really, really good. And of course, the donut has Reese's peanut butter cups as well on it. So I know, right? So it was really good. But yeah, Everglades is worth going over there to see it. So it's a great location. The staff was great. We liked being there. So if you get a chance over to Disney Springs, check that out. And of course, one of the things you can do is go to Everglades, which opens early, and then head on over to Gideon's and get on that waiting list so that you can get one of those cookies, which we've talked about a few times, are really spectacular. So make sure you check that out. The other thing I was really looking forward to, again, was seeing the castle, and they've started adding some more decorations on it for the 50th, which is coming up in October of this year, for those who don't know. Not only is the castle this brilliant new color scheme, right? It just is more vibrant. It seems more rose goldy and deep purple and that. But they're starting to add swag, like banners in different areas.
I love it. Swag.
Instagram bunting is what I like to call it.
Yes, it is. And it looks great. It really does. When the sun hits that castle, there is something about it. Like, it's like car paint, sort of. You know how car paint sort of sparkles? It sort of is like that, right? It feels very luminescent or whatnot. I know. So
like back in the day, the old Bondi blue IMAX that used to look so pretty. God, I wish I had one of those. I have one of those in my classroom. Go ahead, sorry.
No, but it's good. It's beautiful. And I love what they're adding to it. Of course, we saw lots of cavalcades. You cannot help but see cavalcades. You cannot help it. You can't. Mm-hmm. Like, people are like, do I need to do anything special? Nope. You just need to be there.
Turn your head.
Because they're coming. Yes, I know. And of course, when we were there, they were, they released like these different ears. The ears had bands all the time. Well, when we were there, what got released was the pastel rainbow ears, which are so pretty. But whenever you're going, what are your dates? Yes, on your dates, they will have some kind of ears that are the hot ears for that time. So make sure you stop by. The cast members are great at helping you, try to figure out what's the newest, the best, whatever. But buy whatever, makes your heart happy. Because there's lots of good ones.
I just buy the this is my style here for the folks watching the video. Tried and true.
There you go.
The ones from like 1970.
I know, right? So we did our plan for our Hollywood Studios Day, just to help everyone out. We tried to get Rise of Resistance. We did. And so when we got into the parks first thing that morning, we headed right for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Now, if I were you, I would either do that or Slinky Dog. Because those are the ones that really tend to get the bigger lines, and then head to the other one and then go on and do Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster or whatever else may have a ride until you're called for your boarding pass. And that worked great for us. We literally had such a short wait to get on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So that's a bonus. We did, just about everything in Hollywood Studios. That's sort of the cool thing about waiting for your boarding pass to be called is you do all the things. In fact, we even did Muppets. And we haven't done it for the past couple trips. I don't know why. It just, wasn't on the radar. I still like it. I can't help but like the Muppets. There's something about it.
It does.
It does. It really does. And at some point they'll change it and that will be okay. I just don't want it to go away.
Yeah.
So I hope that they'll do something different. Of course, we played Toy Story Midway Mania, another attraction that doesn't get a lot of people aren't running there first thing in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. But still, the repeat rides on that. I always see something different. I always enjoy it. It's really a good thing. And of course, we did Rise, which is just spectacular. So
I missed that ride. I do like. Remember when that was the hotness, man? That was it.
Yes.
Mania, yeah.
That was Rise of the Resistance back in the day.
That was Rise of the Resistance back in the day. You're not wrong. Yeah.
No. Going on at Epcot, of course, is the Flower and Garden Festival, which runs, by the way, until July 5th. July 5th.
I know, right?
The 4th and the 5th of the Freedom Festival. I'm just saying, we renamed it.
Yes, this is true. And then
that's right.
That's right. She wasn't. And then literally 10 days later, by the way, they're kicking off with the Food and Wine Festival.
I know.
Not a joke. It literally kicks off July 15th. And I called that, by the way. I was like, they're going to do it in the middle of July. It's literally going to be festivals every single day of the year.
Last year. It's when they opened the park again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And Flower and Garden, I say this all the time, but it makes Epcot even more beautiful. It just is stunning. And some of the food choices at the Flower and Garden booth this year, incredible. We ordered this avocado toast at one of the booths. This booth is actually by Test Track. And it looked like a work of art. There were flowers on it. It was just spectacular. But something else that was at that booth was a Fruit Loops milkshake. Now,
oh my gosh.
Right?
Okay.
I know.
First of all, you're like a millennial ordering avocado toast, right? Or whatever.
Look, I like avocado for years.
You're right to go into my heart right here with a Fruit Loop shake. I mean, I love
it. I know.
Chick-fil-A shakes.
I know. And this was Hannah. Hannah was like, we have to get this Fruit Loop shape. It looks so cool. And I was like, okay. Whatever. So anyway, we got it. It was blue. It has Fruit Loops on the top.
Oh my gosh.
So it tasted just like Fruit Loops. Oh my gosh. Legit.
Yes.
It was really good. Really good.
And Mike's making a beeline to the Fruit Loops stand.
Where is this? Real quick, because I am.
It's right by Test Track. I forget the name of the actual booth, but it's that. Yeah.
Look for Toucan Sam's beak, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So and get the avocado toast too, because it was really good. But anyways, yes, that. And then at the end of the night, we spent some time with Spaceship Earth and that beautiful new fountain. Literally, that looks spectacular. And by the way, they're adding things to Spaceship Earth for the 50th that are going to make it even more beautiful. So that new fountain, it just is so retro and so reminds me of when Epcot first opened up, that it's just cool, really and truly. And one of the other things you don't want to miss at Flower and Garden is that you get to see really cool things like Winnie the Pooh trying to catch butterflies in between the Imagination Pavilion and the land. And what's funny is when we were standing there watching him for a while, he had a net out and he was like trying to catch butterflies, and it looked like at one point he caught one, and then he was like, oh, dang, now what do I do? Luckily, the butterfly was on the outside of the net, so that eventually flew away. But Pooh looked like he was like, for a minute.
PETA was coming for Pooh.
Right? That's what I was worried about. If something would have happened to poor Pooh and that. But anyways, let's see. What else did we do? One of the things I'm going to just remind people is that dining is a little different than it used to be. First of all, if you have specific table service restaurants that you want to eat at, make sure that you go ahead and try to make them as soon as you can, because it is a little different. And be open to some of the other restaurants that you may not have enjoyed in the past. You may find your new favorite location. So just remember that. Become familiar with mobile ordering. Read one of the blogs or watch one of the YouTube videos just so you're comfortable with it. One of the things that I saw that was a challenge for people was that after you do the mobile ordering, you have to be near the restaurant and you click the button that says, I'm here, prepare my order.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, they're not going to prepare
make your
your
food.
order.
No.
You're gonna get really hungry. Like,
Right.
really hungry because you're never gonna make your food.
And many of the restaurants too are not letting you in until you can actually show that your mobile order is ready. They're doing that to keep everyone socially distant and not have so many folks sitting in the restaurant. So couple things there to do that. I'll also say that on this trip, we went to Universal, and I talked about this on Monday, but Universal is doing a nighttime show, and it was just the perfect way to end our day there. It really was. The cinematic celebration. It's a water screen show, and they show lots of clips from the different movies, and they do have fireworks. So it felt good just to do that. And I can't wait until Disney has something like that available too. Really and truly, I do. And one of the new things at Universal is that at City Walk, to dine at one of those restaurants, you do have to have a reservation. That was a change that they made. They need to have a better idea of who's coming and all of that to do that. And the other thing we did at Universal is we went to Volcano Bay, which is their water park. Now you can buy a 3-day or a 3-day 3-park ticket, or however many days, and have 3 parks and have Volcano Bay be one of the parks that you go to. I can't recommend this water park enough. It's really, first of all, it's beautiful.
It is. I mean, I got to admit it, dude. Volcano Bay was awesome.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. And with Tapu Tapu, they give you sort of a band that you wear throughout the day there, because you do not have to stand in lines. You sort of tap in and you get a return time. So it's sort of like a fast pass type system for those who are familiar with Disney. You can use your Tapu Tapu to pay. You can also do things like tap different things in the water park where they're and they'll squirt water, like maybe people riding on the lazy river below you or things like that. So it's really a very cool thing. The other thing about this water park is you do not carry tubes around all day.
No.
I cannot tell you how much that is a part of every other water park in the world.
But I mean, if you think about it, it's like CrossFit. You know, it's like a workout.
Look, I'm a tiny woman. I can't carry a giant tube all around. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I literally make Brian carry it because I'm like, I can't walk with this. Like, it's too big. I can't.
No, it's smart. It's a guest experience thing. It's really nice.
It really is. And so that's the beauty. If you're staying at one of their 3 legacy resorts or their premier resorts, and that would be Royal Pacific, Hard Rock, or Portofino, you actually have express pass to almost every attraction there, which means you walk on to like everything. And so that gives you time to go do the attractions and then spend some time at Volcano Bay or back at your resort pool. The Universal experience and Disney have they're very similar in some ways. And then there are some things that they're very different about too, but it's not like you can only like one or the other. I really, truly enjoy both so much equally, really and truly. I do. There's things I love about it.
It's like chocolate and peanut butter. I like both, but when I go to Orlando and I can go to both together, it makes it a great trip.
I agree. I totally agree. I really enjoy the experience. And the other thing that is coming soon is their newest coaster, Velocicoaster, is coming. It is in the Jurassic Park section of Islands of Adventure. And it has been testing, off and on for months and months. But when we were there, we saw there were actually people on it. Team members were on it, getting to experience it. And I can't tell you enough about how exciting this attraction is. First of all, it is a long coaster. It's not like Rock and Roller Coaster. We were talking about Rock and Roller Coaster. No, it's not under a minute. There are so many different things. It launches you're upside down, there's a section that's sort of over the water where it sort of does this twist and you're hanging over the water upside down for a period of time.
Hair wash. Get a little shampoo and conditioner. Yep.
Right? I know. So it's really an awesome attraction. And even though you do have inversions and loops, there is not an over the shoulder harness. It is a lap.
Oh
That's
Bye.
this thing. I am not. Ricky already said I'm 70. I am not riding this thing. Either I'm going to get eaten by a dinosaur, dropped in a lake.
No.
No.
I know, right? It just looks spectacular. I'm really excited about it. Universal is doing some awesome things. I mean, it's sort of like the last coaster they opened was the Hagrid's coaster, and it's an experience. It really is. It's not just a coaster. It's not just a thrill ride. It's really an experience. And this is going to be the same kind of things. The thing that Universal has done so well lately was they really are putting you in the story. You feel like you're in the story. Like when you walk in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, you feel like you're there. That's what these attractions are doing too. So it's definitely worth checking out. They're different experiences. They're handling things differently. Universal doesn't require park reservations right now. If you're staying at one of the resorts, even if the parks do reach capacity, you do get preferred access to enter the parks as soon as they're able to enter some people in. And they have a really good idea about who's going to be in the parks each day. They sell date-based tickets, and they stop selling them when they reach a certain point. So all those things make for great experience. They're both great theme parks. The Disney parks and the Universal parks are both great. Check them both out the next time you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Two questions for you before we get out of here, because we only have a few minutes left. But you were down there while a couple of things kind of happened on the technology side of things, which I'm really excited about. We've talked about a lot on the Sunday night shows. We haven't spoken about it too much here because we don't have firsthand experience. Obviously, Ricky wrote a blog. I saw about this Magic Mobile. So you're an Apple Watch user, an iPhone user. Did you try this system where you basically turn your iOS device, and soon coming to Android, but did you turn that into a Magic Band? And what were your feelings on that kind of first thing?
So there was that, and we did do that. We used it. It worked great. It was easy to set up, not challenging at all. It's within the app. You can actually go there. First of all, make sure your app is up to date, and that's always important. Before you go, you're going to want to make sure that you've updated your app.
And also your operating system on both your watch and your phone.
That's critical. Once you sign into your app, there is actually on the My Plans page, there's a place for you to go ahead and set that up. You're going to want to do that before you go. You actually add it to your wallet on the phone, and that's how it sort of works on the watch too. So we use that, and we also use the facial recognition.
Yep.
Yes. So we did that as well. It was only working at the Magic Kingdom. They only had it set up there. And we did do that. So we'll see what happens. But even using the facial recognition technology, you don't take off your mask. So it's just your eyes and I guess the shape of your face and whatnot. Yeah. So we did that. So lots of technology things that Disney is really rolling out. And it's great to see, really and truly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just worried when I look into things, it's like it's like ugly or not kind of thing. You're coming down.
Yes, I know. Like when your phone doesn't recognize you, I always say, "Oh my gosh, I must be looking rough today because my phone's like not unlocking when it sees my face." Right?
The whole thing is too. I mean, and I've been doing this through this whole pandemic. Like, because I've been down to Walt Disney World twice now, and I'll be down again. Like, I always smile for pictures, even though I got a stupid mask on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, but Mallory swears, here's her thing, because she's been with me. She's always like, you smile with your eyes too.
You do. Like, she is correct. Yes, you do.
Very, very true.
Very
true.
She's a smart girl. She's a smart girl.
She's smart for her own good sometimes.
Yes.
Not good. All right. Well, hey, Pam, thanks for sharing that. We appreciate it because it's going to help a lot of folks heading down here soon.
Good. I was happy to, really and truly. And I just want to say, to answer all the questions, because people always say, is it the same? No, it is not. It's not the same, but it's not different in a bad way. It's just different.
Yeah. Right. I mean, go to the Blues game, go to the Cardinals game right now. Not the same. I mean, you're not high-fiving because you're not next to you, some stranger, but it's a lot better than sitting at home.
That's true.
So, all right. Well, hey, that's going to do it for today's show. Hopefully you got some fun out of Pam's trip there, some tips to help you have a better trip here soon. And don't forget the Magic for Less, the agents over there, they go down frequently. They're Disney experts. They're going to help you plan that trip. They're going to say, hey, think about this. This is going to be a little different than last time, but doesn't mean it's going to be, any worse or any better. It's just going to be different. And the whole thing is, we know this about life in general. Like you just want to know what you want to have a plan. You want to know what to expect. You want to put yourself in the best possible situation. That's what these tips are going to do. That's what these agents help you out on your next trip. So just check them out over at the Magic for Less. All the specials are there. I love the resort guides. I talk about those all the time because I'm a resort person. I just like looking at the layouts of Pop Century. I like looking at Coronado Springs, Caribbean Beach, the Yacht Club. I love that stuff. So if you want to get planning, that's your first step. magicforless.com. Fill out the quote form while you're there. Put in some dates, resorts, guest names, and we'll get right back to you right away. And maybe you'll go, maybe you won't, but at least you'll know what's available and what price. So again, check them out over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Thanks to everybody who supports our show that way. And a huge shout out to our patrons. You guys are allowing us to do 4 shows a week here on the feed, and you, me, and Scotty G every Sunday night. That cracks me up every time. So if you'd like to become a patron, you get another podcast every Thursday called Mike in the Midwest. That's always a lot of fun as well. So just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Join us this Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. Scott's with me. We talk about the news of the week. So Ricky, make sure you write all that stuff up on the Mouse for Less.
I will.
Our show. And then we talk about it. We'll be talking about all this stuff. And this Sunday night, we'll be talking about what are those things at Walt Disney World that's still like, you're like, that's awesome. Like riding rock and roller coaster, right? It is. I totally, I'm with you. Like I'm on that thing like, oh, here we go. What am I doing? It's awesome. I mean, it's why we go. So we'll talk about that on Sunday night. Anything else that's on your mind. But I just want to stop and say thank you for listening to our show. We have a good time. I hope you always tell that when Pam, Ricky, and I get together here on Wednesdays and Fridays, when Scott jumps in, and we have guests on Mondays, we have fun with this. I mean, we do this because we've been doing it for a long time, but we have a good time doing this. And I hope you always kind of get some fun out of this as well. Hopefully, sometime soon we can sit down at Pecos Bills or sit down at Columbia Harbor House or hang out over at Sunshine Seasons and get to meet you and just kind of share stories. We've done that with so many listeners of the show. And that is one of the best things. And as we get through this pandemic, I'm really, really looking forward to that. Anyway, we're going to get out of here and hope you have a great weekend until we get back together on Sunday night. For Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
Yay.
It's you, me, Wade, and Scotty G.
Nice. Pam, did you ever run into my brother?
No, by the time I saw that we did not take the train back and forth at all. The lines were sort of long, and it was just easiest, to walk.
To walk, yeah. No,
I was like, okay, I've done it.
A lot of people don't realize that you can walk. That's the funny part. It's like they don't realize that you can walk, so they just think they can only take the train. Yeah. So, no, that's where he's at now. So if you ever want to see him, he's probably there.
Oh, he works on the Hogwash Express.
Yes, the Hogwarts Express. Yes.
I won't write anything to give me warts.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I just love looking at your face when I say stuff like that.
It's because I just want to roll my eyes and say things that I can't say. I want to say swear words at you, but I know we're live, so I can't.
That's right. That's why I just keep it low. I'm safe as long as I keep it low. Like Wade's here. You don't want to offend Wade or Akari.
Exactly. I see you do it on purpose because you know I can't swear at you. So
let me mute my phone so she can't text me. Okay, Cardinals are playing and Taco Bell's waiting. So
all right, go. All right,
see you later.
Bye.